You know those people who just have a way with words? The ones who always seem to say the right thing? Well, what if I told you that's not some special gift they were born with? It's a skill. And just like any skill, you can learn it, you can practice it, and you can absolutely master it.
Just imagine that for a second. What if you could walk into any room, any meeting, any job interview, and feel totally confident that you can get your point across clearly, persuasively, every single time? That's not a superpower, you know? It's just having the right strategy.
And that's exactly what this is. It's not magic, it's a playbook. Just like in sports, there are proven plays that work. We've taken all the essentials, put them into one simple playbook. And today, we're going to walk you through it play by play. All right, first things first. Every good playbook starts with the fundamentals, right? You got to know the rules of the game. So before we get into the fancy stuff, let's break down the basic blueprint of how communication actually works.
So, what even is communication? At its core, it's just exchanging ideas. Sounds simple, but that last little part, as intended, that is everything. I mean, think about the last time you sent a text message that was taken completely the wrong way. Yep, that's a communication breakdown. The whole point of this playbook is to make sure your message lands exactly the way you want it to.
So how does it all happen? Well, it follows these pretty simple steps. You, the sender, have an idea. You put it into words or actions. That's called encoding. You pick a channel, maybe an email or a phone call. The receiver gets it and has to figure out what you mean. That's decoding. But here's the real kicker, the most crucial part of the loop: feedback. Without it, you're just talking at someone. Feedback is what turns a broadcast into a real conversation.
Of course, in any game, there are going to be obstacles, things that get in your way. These are the common barriers that can totally block your message. It might be something obvious, like a super noisy room, or something invisible, like the other person being stressed out. Just knowing that these barriers exist is the first step to punching right through them.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting, because a huge, and I mean huge, part of our message has absolutely nothing to do with the words we use. We're now entering the powerful and often subconscious world of nonverbal communication.
We've all heard this one, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it is so true. We can spend hours crafting the perfect email, but our tone of voice, our posture, our eye contact, those things are often subconscious, and they can completely contradict the words coming out of our mouth. Okay, I'm going to throw a fancy word at you, but stick with me, because it's something you deal with every single day. Proxemics. All it means is the study of personal space. You know that invisible bubble that we all have around us? And believe me, how we use that space sends a really powerful message without saying a word.
And we all have different zones, don't we? There's the intimate zone for the people closest to us, a personal zone for friends, then a social distance for colleagues or acquaintances, and finally a public distance, like when you're giving a speech. If you get those zones wrong and stand too close, you can make someone so uncomfortable that they completely shut down. And it's not just space, it's time too. The fancy word for this is chronemics. Showing up on time for a meeting isn't just about being polite. It sends a powerful message that says, I respect you and I value your time. Being late, well, that sends a message too, and it's probably not a good one. Managing your time is managing your communication. So we've covered all the unspoken rules. Now let's circle back to the words themselves. This section is all about the practical side of things, how to put your language to work so you can write with clarity and real impact.
Here's a real game changer for your writing: active versus passive voice. Listen to the difference. The team completed the project. That's active, it's direct, it has energy. Now, the project was completed by the team. See how that's more formal and indirect? For the most part, you want to stick with the active voice. It's just stronger.
And let's talk about emails. Think of this as your pre-flight checklist before you hit send. A subject line that actually says what the email is about. A professional greeting. A body that's short and to the point. A formal closing, and a signature. You nail these 5 things and your emails will get read, and more importantly, they'll get results. And now for what might be the single most important play in this entire section: proofreading. Seriously, do not skip this step. One tiny typo or grammar mistake can completely undermine your credibility. Taking an extra 30 seconds to read it over is probably the best investment you'll make all day.
All right, let's bring it all home. In this final section, we're going to take everything we've learned and apply it to the ultimate high-stakes game, building your career. This is where the theory gets real.
So let's look at your career toolkit. Your resume isn't just a list of jobs. It's your professional highlight reel. Your statement of purpose, that's the movie trailer that explains why you're the hero. And the job application itself is your opening scene. Each one of these is a communication challenge, and you've got to nail it.
But it's not all about what's on paper, right? You've got to level up your speaking and listening skills too. Practice with mock interviews until it feels natural. Get really, really good at phone interviews where your voice is literally everything. And improve your listening by watching how the pros do it in TED Talks. Oh, and learn the lingo of your industry.
So here's the bottom line, the main takeaway from all of this. This playbook isn't about acing one test or nailing one interview. These are the tools you're going to use every single day for the rest of your professional life. Mastering communication is a direct investment in your own success. It's as simple as that.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. In a world where AI and automation are handling more and more of the technical stuff, our uniquely human skills become our greatest asset. So the question is, which one of these, empathy, persuasion, clarity, or just plain old good listening, which one do you think will be the most critical skill for success in the decade to come?